Perfect. So, yeah, as I said, I'll unmute people as and when required. I don't think I've got anybody's cameras enabled, so yeah, that shouldn't be an issue. So we're just gonna have a look through sort of the overview of admin. So we'll go through the dashboard, retail customers, trade accounts, agents, the order screen. We'll do a brief overview of GOb2b Pay. Just having a look because I think most of you on this meeting have got GOb2b Pay enabled, so I will just touch on that briefly. We'll have a look at pricing, reports, the post section, site components, site settings, tools, manage redirects, and then just quickly on the help section. And then we will do a Q&A at the end. Just let a couple more people in that are joining. So just for the purpose of this webinar, I'm using our Sage 200 demo site. So when we get further down and we start looking at the diagnostics page, obviously it will look slightly different as it does for some of you currently. So as I'm sure you're all aware, I think we've got a mixture of existing customers, new customers, possibly new members of staff. So you've got kind of two ways of accessing the admin, either just straight via the URL and then logging in, or you can do it once logged into the site. So I'm currently logged in as a purchaser, but if you're logged in as an agent, you will have the option on the My Account to click on Site Admin. And of course, you can only do that if you are an agent with admin access. So once logged in, as I said, a variety of different things that you can look at. So we'll go through each bit one by one. So the first section is the dashboard, and now it has logged me out. So let me just open up our control panel and load it up again. There we go. So if we go to dashboard, so this will give you kind of an overview of everything that's kind of going on within your website. So there's lots of different widgets here that you can set up. So you've got orders posted, you've got your monthly sales total, you could have a look at number of orders, active carts, top performing products, worst performing, new products, different agents created. You can keep sort of an eye on how many orders different agents are putting through. If you currently don't have any of these set up, or you want to set up more, you'll see here it says manage widgets, and you've got the admin dashboard play around with. We'll then go on to retail customers. So for some of you, these may not show, depending on if you have got retail enabled, but it will essentially just show you a list of all your customers that have signed up as retail. It will give you their name and their email address, tell you when they were registered, their last log on, and if their password or when their password's last changed. So good way of just keeping an eye on how many sort of retail customers are looking at your site or signing up for your site. So we'll go into trade accounts. So this is where it will show all the accounts that you have imported from your accounting system. It gives you their name, the account code, what account type they are. So whether that's type A or type C. Type A is sort of the standard type of customer. Type C is where they've got kind of their own catalog. We go into edit details. You can change what account type they are, and if they are type C, you then select which catalog it is you want them to look at. By default, this won't be switched on. So if this is something that you want to know more about, then just drop me an email afterwards. It will pull in the invoice address from your accounting system. You can enable which payment methods you want. Pay by link, which we'll touch on more when we look at the GOb2b pay section. A shipping key, if they do have a shipping key, you can read more about that in the shipping section on our help site. And you can also display their account logo, so it does just give them a little bit of a personal touch when they log in to their account. It's got their delivery addresses and the purchasers assigned to that account. So those are the people, so your customer, the people that could log in their side to place orders. So if we wanted to add a new account, we'll add a new account. This next screen will depend on whether your site is integrated. So I think we have got a few onboarding customers on this webinar, and for those of you that watch this at a later date. If you're integrated, you will just have this screen. So all you need to do is put in the account code, press Save Changes, and it will pull through all of the details from your accounting system. If you're not integrated, but you do want to start adding some trade accounts, it will just look like this screen. So you just have to populate everything manually. When it comes to adding a new purchaser, there will just be some information that you need to put in. You can either set their password manually, or we can set it up so that by default the password will be their account code, and then at a later date they change it. And if you want them to be able to access more features, you'll need to make them an account manager. So that's things like paying off invoices, updating card details, updating delivery addresses, things like that. So we'll move on to agents. So these are, I guess the best way of explaining it is your sales team. It's people for you internally that are accessing the website. There are instances where you may have to make one of your customers an agent. If that is the case, we strongly recommend that you don't make them an admin, otherwise they can access all of this information. We are working on a development which will hopefully resolve that, where it will give you, you'll be able to give purchasers and agents sort of different roles within the business. So adding a new agent, popping all their details, depends what their role is. So again, do you want them to be able to access all of this information, or do you just want them to log in and place orders on behalf of a customer? Set their password for them, and then select which accounts they have access to. So depending on the size of your business, you may just select all accounts. If you're a much larger business with 500 trade accounts and you have 5 sales agents responsible for 100 different accounts each, then you'll need to go through and manually select which accounts they can look at. So next we have got the order screen. So this will give you an overview of all the orders placed on the site. So it'll give you the order number, the web number, what type of order it was, so whether it was an agent order, a trade order placed by a customer, or a retail order. Gives you the account number, gives you the customer name and their email address. I haven't got it enabled on this site, but some of you may start to notice a new column which will give you payment method. So it will tell you whether it was a GOb2b pay, card payment, or another card payment provider, or whether it was on account or whether it's bank transfer. Again, we're just trying to make it kind of as easy as possible for you to keep an eye on what's going on your website, and give you as much information in one place as possible. You can go in and view the order, so it just gives you a few more bits of information. You can view the confirmation email. Tells you the invoice address, the delivery address, if it was an agent order, their details, and then it gives you an overview as well there of the order. We'll come on to the posts section a little bit later on. So we'll touch briefly on GOb2b Pay, just because I know we have got a few people in here that are using it. Just in case any of you aren't aware, GOb2b Pay is now our own card payment method. So previously you may have used a third party. However, since we were acquired by ClearCourse last year, we've now developed our own card payment facility, as that is what ClearCourse specialise in. So you'll see here, just gives you an overview of all the different payments that have gone through on GOb2b Pay. So whether that's a balance payment, a virtual terminal, an order, it just gives you all the information there. And again, you can view the payment. We've got settlement report, got virtual terminal. I won't go too much detail into the settlement report on this webinar, but you've got the virtual terminal, which allows you to process sort of non-website payments. A pay by link, which means you can send the customer a link to pay an amount. And then there's settings as well. These are mainly sort of for GOb2b internally, so you shouldn't need to look at that. Whilst it's not widely used, we do have a facility for you to create gift vouchers for customers. This is something that we need to enable for you. It's not enabled by default. Again, if this is something that you're sort of interested in or want to know more, I'm happy to kind of go through any other bits on it after this webinar. But if we just create, see there, so must have a unique identifier. You can select what currency the voucher's in, how much the voucher is worth, who the voucher is going to, their name, any message, and the expiry, so however many days that is available for, and then you just press create, and they can use those via the website. Then we've got pricing. So this screen may not be applicable to all of you, but it is in case you do offer multi-currency. So you can set up specific sort of non-sterling pricing, and that will pull from your accounting system, depending on what account code it is that you put in here. And obviously you just need to make sure that the exchange rate is correct. If you have it set up in your accounting system so it's the same price in euros as it is in pounds, you need to make sure that the exchange rate is correct, which I think at the moment is around 1.1, 1.2. Next, we've got the report section. So there is lots of information here that you can get out of your website. So that's just general activity. You can export a list of orders, and the types of orders, promotions, activity, who's using which promotions. You've got specific trade reports, so you can look at that based on account or purchasers, even account managers. And then you've got sort of similar for the B2C, it's not quite as much on there. And then you've got some miscellaneous. And if you do have any bespoke reports that we've created for you, these will show here. Probably the most commonly used one is the product list export. So you just select the catalog and then export it. Takes a minute or so, but then you will see an Excel file that's downloaded, and that will pull out every bit of information on every product that you've got on the website. We do have plans to add different reports and enhance this page, so keep an eye out on newsletters and things when we announce details of that, hopefully later this year. Then we've got the review section. So again, this is something that we can enable for you. It's not something enabled by default, but you can give customers the option to review products when they buy them. And then you can approve those as to whether you want them to actually show on the website. Hopefully your customers are only giving positive reviews, but if they do give you, a negative review on a product, you can choose whether you want to actually display that on the website or not. So again, if this is something that you do want enabling after this webinar, then you can, just get in touch and we will do that. So the post section is, there's a lot of different posts that happen from the website. The easiest or the most common one obviously is the order posting. So when a customer places an order, it posts into your accounting system. So if we just look at succeeded, you can see there that it's because I've loaded up the account. One of the posts that it will do is it will look to see whether there are any changes on that account and make sure that it's got all the correct details. It's posted a balance payment. See there are lots of update account, order to accounts, post the order, confirm the order, notify password change. So it will give you a lot of information about what is happening. There is a page as well that it will, if you've got any custom around posting, it will give you information here. If we just go back to an order, and you'll see here, so it's got two posts that we do. So it's got confirm order and it's got post account order to account. You may sometimes see that this doesn't happen straight away, or it will say failed or pending with a number of attempts. If you click on the number of attempts, obviously here it's gone through straight away, but if there are any errors, it will tell you the reason as to why the order hasn't posted. The most common one is that we've lost connection to your accounting system, so the order can't post. Other ones that sometimes come up, and they're a little bit account specific, is that a customer has got an item in their basket that you have since deleted from the website. So it kind of throws it out a little bit because it's trying to post an order with an item or a product that no longer exists. What we generally say the best option in those situations is, depending on what the error is, if it shows that the web service is disconnected or we've lost connection to your accounting system, is restart your accounting system or the server, sorry, that your accounting system is on. If that doesn't work, get in touch with us. You can manually retry posting orders. Sometimes they'll go through once you try that troubleshooting set. Sometimes they don't. Or what we generally say is cancel it and post the order manually. Most of the time it's pretty obvious as to what the error is, or what the issue is that's causing the order not to post. But if you're unsure as to what it is, just get in touch with our support team, and they'll be able to have a look further as to what the issue is. So if we just go back there, so at the moment there's no pending, there's no failed on this one, there aren't any on hold, but you can see there all of these have succeeded. So we'll move on to site components, and the first section in site components is your agreements. Generally you will only have one in here, and that will be the terms and conditions. So this is where you're on checkout, and I'll do it from here. When you go to checkout, it will show you on the final step, here, click to confirm that you have read the terms and conditions. So that is set up on this page. Go into the terms and conditions. So the friendly name is what you see appear here. and you can select here using the keys where you want that to appear. So we've got it set up that it appears on the checkout and it appears on the registration forms, so your trade account form and things like that. And you can make it a required field. So customers have to tick it in order to proceed. And you can make it so that they always have to do it. You'll see here on mine, it's already got it. It did already have it ticked, because once customer ticks it once, it won't ask them to tick it again. And you'll see there that it's got a link to the terms and conditions page on your website. Most customers generally only have the terms and conditions set up, sometimes have another one, maybe some delivery information that you might want the customer to read or check that they've read before checking out. Then we've got payment methods. So recently we've done quite a lot of work to this page in order to give you sort of more control over how the payment methods look and how they behave. So we've got 3 main payment methods. So we do still have some customers that are using SagePay or Payo, but mainly we've got customers pay on account, GOb2b pay, which is card, and then bank transfer. You can configure what the payment text or the button text says. So as you can see there, it's got on account, card, and bank transfer, which all comes from here. You can upload your own image in terms of what you want to show for each of those buttons. And you can also control how those buttons look. So what the background color is, the border color, and the text color. We do also have an image library here that you can download. So depending on which sort of card, if you are taking card, which card payment providers you accept. So we do have some customers that do offer PayPal. However, this is very much on a case-to-case basis and not something that we offer as standard. So if you do want to download any of these, just click on that. Just click on it, it'll open it, and then you can download by saving the image and then upload as necessary. Obviously, it won't let you tick available for retail for on account, because that is very much a business-to-business piece of functionality, but you can make card payment available from retail as well as bank transfer. So we will touch on site appearance. So up here on the left, you've got the theme that you're on and the template. For most of you, this will say Octopus, and it will you won't have a demo, you won't have a template, it will just be the standard theme template. Then you've got a few different site image options. So you've got your logo image. Each of these have got a little info icon, so it does tell you sort of the ideal size for each of these. So you've got logo image, you've got mobile logo image, an email logo. If you don't populate the mobile logo or the email logo, it will just default to your logo. Login splash. So that is if your website is completely locked behind a login, rather than it just being sort of the default login screen, you can upload a background image. You've got your favicon. Just in case any of you aren't aware of what a favicon is, that is the sort of small logo that appears next to the website name on browser tabs. And then you've got no image as well, and that will appear where you've got products or departments that don't have an image. So rather than it just being sort of a blank screen, you can upload something that's specific to your business that might have your logo on that says image coming soon. This bit here is for the favicon upload. So once you've uploaded the image for the favicon here, you just need to give it a name and choose a couple of colors and then generate the favicon. I'm not going to go into the theme previewer just because we plan to do a specific theme previewer webinar in September. So once we've got a date for that, we will send that out in August's newsletter. So just keep an eye out on that. Admin users, so just gives you a clear overview of all your agents that are admin, just because you may find that you've got 20, 30 different agents, but only a handful of them are admin. So rather than trawling through them all to see which are admin, it shows you them here, which is useful. So delivery date. So a configurable setting we have is for customers to choose a requested delivery date. You, however, can kind of configure this yourself. So you may say that you don't offer delivery on Mondays, Saturdays, and Sundays. You can set a cut-off time for when customers can choose next day delivery, or requested next day. And then you can also add a list of dates that you won't allow customers to select delivery on. So I know that there is a bank holiday coming up later in the month, so we're going to select that, and you'll see there that it now shows a list of blocked delivery dates. Other common ones that customers tend to choose are Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Day, things like that. Just means that customers can't select those days for delivery. And then the final section under site settings is the cache. So you've got a few different options here. So you've got the price cache. You can clear the whole website price cache. You can do it for a specific account. So if you update a price list that is attached to a specific account and you want those changes to reflect instantly on the website, you can put in their account code and press clear this account. And you can do that with specific products as well. Stock levels. So if a product has been out of stock and you upload new stock in your accounting software, you can instantly clear the stock cache so that it refreshes straight away. If not, it will wait for the next cache timeout, and as well for the stock due in date. Or you can just clear all of it. That will slow the site down ever so slightly when you clear the cache, just because then it needs to rebuild, but that doesn't take too long. App components. I'm just having a look here to see whether any of you are using the app. A couple of you maybe. We are currently doing a lot of work on the app, certainly around notifications and things like that. But here is where you can set up app notifications. You might be doing promotions, new product. You can schedule when it goes. So again, if you are interested in finding out more about our app, just pop me an email after this webinar at a later date, and I can provide further information around pricing and features available. And again, there you've got settings, so you can upload an app specific logo and the primary color. So move on to diagnostics, and we'll just wait for it to load. Diagnostics is kind of your go-to if you ever think that there is something wrong with the website. It gives you a lot of information. A lot of it may look confusing, but there are few key sort of elements for you to look at. And as I said, this page will look different depending on your integration. So if you are making changes on your website, you've maybe created a new catalog of a new department of products, and you've cleared the cache in WebCMS, and it's still not showing on the website. You've checked everything else that you can think of, but it's still not showing. Have a look in diagnostics and check to see whether the broker enabled has got a green tick. If it hasn't got a green tick, get in touch with us. This does sometimes fail from time to time. This is essentially what kicks or what publishes changes that you make onto the website. So if you do ever notice that that has failed, just get in touch and we'll resolve that for you. These are all kind of specific elements of what's involved or what's included in the broker. I don't think any of you on here will ever come across a time where any of these will show as failed. If one of them is failed, it will likely be the broker. But we did some work recently that has prevented this from failing as often as it did. But it said, yeah, if you do notice that it's ever failed, just get in touch. Then you've got your accounting specific diagnostics. If you are Sage 50 or Sage 200, it will show a lot more information here than it does if you're on one of our API integrations, such as Enterprise or Profit 4. But you'll see there it's got all the different bits of information, and kind of the most important bit here is the web service connection. So again, if you find that orders aren't posting to your accounting system, then have a look here and see whether that says passed. If it does says passed, the likelihood is that there is an issue your side. This is generally kind of the most sort of, this is the source of truth. If that is showing as passed, we're connected. And again, yeah, it gives you a bit more information there. As I said, for those of you on our API, it doesn't give you as much information. I've just noted a question there about monitoring alerts. That is something that we are certainly looking into implementing, because yeah, I appreciate you may not know that there is an issue. So yeah, we're certainly having a look into seeing whether there is any way that we can look at some sort of notification tool that tells you if any of this has gone wrong. Then we've got the selling restrictions checker. So this is very much sort of still in development, but you can search to see whether any stock codes, or at the moment it's only for node IDs. I can show you very quickly how you obtain a node ID. So if we just get a product, so if you right click, go to advanced and then copy the ID to clipboard, we can then search, and that will tell you if there are any specific selling restrictions. As I said, this is still in development with the stock code coming soon. So yeah, that will be completed soon. And then kind of the main final bit is the redirects. So 301 redirect is permanent redirect that informs browsers, Google, things like that, that a page has moved to a new URL. So you might have a product in one department and you completely move it to a new department. Ideally, what you should then do is set up a redirect. Kind of two reasons. It helps the browser cache, but as well, if a customer has got that URL as a favorite on their browser, when they next click on it, it will take them to the new URL rather than a page not found. So you can either upload redirects in bulk, or you can just upload one at a time. And it will also tell you whether you've got any duplicates, any broken URLs. Yeah, it will give you lots of information and ensure that your redirects are done correctly. And then the final bit there, we've got our support docs and information on how to contact support. I am currently working through a new help site, which should be ready to be launched in September. This is mainly just updating the content that was on our existing help site, refreshing it, hopefully making it easier for you to follow and understand. I appreciate I've been talking at you for around 40 minutes. So whilst I just grab a quick drink, if anybody has got any questions, then pop them in the chat. I'll just give you a minute to pop any questions. I think there is the Q&A functionality. And that's fine. We'll just do it via the chat. If anybody's got any questions, I'll just give you a minute to have a think, and then we can go there. Yes, Sean, let me just place an order, and then I can show you what the pay by link looks like. So you need to pop in the account code. Don't need to put in a reference, and the amount was a £30 order. Then it should paste a link. Let me see if it will generate a link. I don't know why for this specific test site it's not working, but what we will do, Sean, is we will likely do a separate GOb2b Pay webinar in the near future. I can share a video with you afterwards. Yes, it will send an email. Does it send an email to the customer automatically, or an email to you when the customer is paid? I'll allow you to turn your microphone on if you need to. No, so it won't email the customer automatically. You would need to copy that link into an email.
All right. Yeah, because
to send it
we
to the customer.
Yeah, we currently use WorldPay for that functionality, and it just sends an email directly to the customer, and it's all formatted with a logo and things like that. So are you saying we'd probably have to create a template for an email and then paste the link into that template manually?
Yes, you would. Do you send out invoices and things like that with a pay now button on them as well?
We don't know, unfortunately. The system we've got, which is the old Opera 3.
Okay, you're on Opera. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we cannot do that kind of functionality on. We send the emails as PDFs, but we cannot put any kind of interaction buttons or anything on it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. In that case, yeah, you would need to create a template and add the link to it.
Yeah. Do you think it's some future date that might be a sort of custom template you can add into the shop and get an email directly to the customer?
Yeah, it's definitely something that we can have a look at. For those of you not on it, I'm not trying to do a sales pitch, but one of the good things about GOb2b Pay is we're in full control over the functionality of it. So if we see that there is functionality that that could be useful, we can go ahead and build that. It's not relying on a payer which
it's just that we'd like
500,000 customers.
Yeah, we'd like to drop OPO and WorldPay and just stick with the GOb2b solution, because it's cheaper than OPO and WorldPay.
That's what we like to hear.
But it doesn't quite have the functionality yet.
Okay.
That's that world pay or pay or have.
That's fine. I mean, I'm happy to pick that up with you separately.
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Matt.
Perfect. No worries. Steve, ideally redirects should be kind of left in place forever. Unless you move the page again. But once the redirect's been created, it should be left there. Apple Pay, I believe, is not too far away. Google Pay is a little bit further away, but I don't think Apple Pay is too far away in the future. Yes, Georgia, we'll do another shipping webinar in the near future. I'm happy to send you. I'll send you our previous one that we did about a year ago, I think it was. But we can certainly do another one as a refresher, because I appreciate there's probably new members of staff and new customers since we last did that one. So I'll mention that one to Holly, who is our shipping expert, and I'm sure she'll be happy to do another one. Any other questions for now? I will take that as a no. So as I said, I'll pop this webinar up on YouTube in the next couple of days. You've all got my email, or those of you onboarding, you've got Lauren's email. So if you do have any follow-up questions, just send them across, and one of us will be more than happy to answer. But other than that, thank you very much all for attending. And as I said, I will put out in the next newsletter when our next webinar is, and I'm pretty certain that it's going to be on the theme previewer, because there's lots of exciting features on there that you may not be using. I will try and get it up on YouTube today, but if not, it will likely be tomorrow. We'll see how my my internet behaves with uploading it to YouTube. But yeah, I'll try and get it up today, if not tomorrow. But yeah, other than that, thanks very much. So I'll let you all carry on with the rest of your day, and any questions, just fire me an email.